morning, dear children. Hope you all are safe. Last class, we started to discuss about sexual reproduction in flowering plants. And you all know which part of the plant is responsible for reproduction. Tell me which part is that? Yes, flowers. And you know the different parts of the flower, and we discussed about the reproductive structures of the flower also. And you know two types of flowers are there, unisexual as well as bisexual. Unisexual, only single sex, either male or female. In bisexual, you can see or we can see two sexes in a single flower. So, and you know that which part of the plant or which part of the male reproductive structure produces the pollen grain and what will happen to the pollen grain, etc. So today we are going to study how fertilization or how reproduction takes place in the flower. So you know that there are mainly two structures, reproductive structures in the plant that you know. One is the female structure, you know, stigma. This is the stigma, this is the style, and this part is the ovary. And you know, and here ovules are also there. And another structure, this is the male structure, and you know that main two parts are there. This is the anther and this is the filament. Clear? And these are the main two reproductive structures of a flower. So here this is the female structure and this is the male structure. And you know that in the anther, you know, pollen grains are produced. Hope you remember that you have seen that yellow color powder when I had shown you the structure of the flower. Flower you have seen the last class. So here the pollen grains are produced in the anther. And you know what will happen to this pollen grain? And through wind or any other agent, these pollen grains, you know, pollen grains are transferred to the stigma. This pollen grain of a flower is transferred to the stigma, and that process is known as pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma, and this process is known as pollination. And you know two types of pollinations are they? What are they? Self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination, we know that it takes place in a single flower. In which type of flowers this self-pollination takes place? Yes, in bisexual flowers only. Self-pollination takes place. And in unisexual flowers, usually which type of pollination takes place? Cross-pollination takes place. Self-pollination in a single flower and cross-pollination in another flower of the same plant or different flower of the another plant. So, for what this pollination takes place? What's the purpose of this pollination? When this pollen grains, it falls on the stigma. You can see this diagram. When this pollen grain, it falls on the stigma. As you all know, stigma is sticky. And the stigma, it receives the pollen grains from different types of flowers. You know that when we observe a garden, we could see different types of flowers. Plants are there, isn't it? Hibiscus, rose plant, then bougainvillea, lily. Likewise, different types of flowers or plants can be seen in a garden. And you know that through pollination, what will happen? Different types of pollen grains. This pollen grain of the rose plant can fall on the hibiscus. Pollen grains of any other plant can fall on the hibiscus. And similarly, it happens to all plants. But the stigma of the particular plant can receive the pollen grain from that particular plant only. Hibiscus stigma receive the pollen grain or accept the pollen grain of the hibiscus anther only. That's very important. Even though different types of pollen grains fall on the stigma, they know to select which pollen grain suits them. So the pollen grain of the anther, due to pollination, it falls on the stigma. You can observe this is the stigma and this is the enlarged structure. This is the enlarged structure of a single ovule. Inside you can observe the ovule, and this is the ovary. Clear? And inside the ovary, sometimes we can see numerous ovules are there. Sometimes we can see one ovule, sometimes you can see numerous ovules are there in a single ovary. So here due to pollination, the pollen grains, it falls on the stigma. Then what happens when pollen grains falls on the stigma? You can observe a new structure, and this structure, it is known as the pollen tube. You can see the structure. When we observe any flower, we cannot see the pollen tube all the time. At the time of fertilization only, which structure is formed? This pollen tube is formed only at the time of fertilization. So when the pollen grains falls on the stigma, that time is particular structure known as pollen tube. You can observe it. Pollen tube is formed. And each pollen grain, that is very important, each pollen grain consists of 2 male gametes. Each pollen grain consists of how many male gametes? 2 male gametes. The pollen grain, this powdered substance, and it is very difficult to separate one from the another. In this single or pollen grain, how many male gametes are there? 2 male gametes are there in a single pollen grain. Numerous pollen grains are there. It is a powdery substance. And when we separate one powder from the another, in single powder, you could see how many male gametes are there. 2 male gametes are there in a single pollen grain. So here, it will accept only the one pollen grain only. Even though numerous pollen grains falls on the stigma, it receives only single pollen grain. And as I told you, a pollen grain consists of what? 2 male gametes. A single pollen grain consists of 2 male gametes. See, through the pollen tube, it passes. Here you can see one male gamete, and this is the second male gamete. And through the pollen tube, this male gamete, it passes through and it reaches. This is the embryo sac. This is the inside the ovule only. You can see this. Inside the ovary, numerous ovules are there. But here I have shown only what happens in the single ovule. Single ovule. Ovary outer covering is there. Inside that numerous ovules are there. Here I have shown on the single ovule to explain about fertilization. So here inside the ovule you can see inside this embryo sac. It is the embryo sac. Embryo sac is there inside the ovule. So this pollen tube, it carries the 2 male gamete, and this opening area, it is known as the micropyle. This opening area, it is known as the micropyle. So this the micropylar region, the pollen tube reaches the embryo sac. Inside the ovule, embryo sac is in. Through the this bottom portion, this opening is known as the micropylar region, and through this opening, pollen tube enters into the ovule inside the embryo sac. And just observe this embryo sac, how many nucleus or how many cells are seen there. Just count 3 at the top, 2 in the middle and 3 in the bottom. So total how many are there? Total we can observe 8 nucleus, or otherwise we can call what? 8 cells are there inside the embryo sac. Hope it is clear till here. When the pollen grains falls on the stigma, as stigma is sticky, it receives the pollen grains, and this single pollen grain contains how many male gametes? Yes, 2 male gametes are there, and this passes through the pollen tube and through the micropylar region, that is the bottom portion. Through the micropylar region, it reaches the embryo sac. Inside the embryo sac, how many nucleus are there? 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, and middle 2. Total 8 cells are there, or 8 nucleus or 8 nuclei are there. Clear? Okay. So here the 2 male gametes are coming. For what these 2 male gametes are coming? What is their purpose? For what these 2 male gametes are coming? Their main purpose is to fuse with the female, right? The main function of male gametes, the main function is to fuse with the fuse with the female gamete. So just see how is it possible. These two male gametes are coming. Just observe this bottom portion. These top three cells together, they are known as antipodals. Just understand only, when you are asked to draw the structure of this fertilization flower, you don't need to mark these antipodals and synergids. Just for your information only, I have marked it here. Clear? Antipodals and the bottom synergids. So, just observe this. Where can you see the egg? It is the bottom portion, isn't it? Middle cell, it is the egg. Clear? Bottom portion, middle one is the egg. So, how many eggs are there in here in this embryo sac? How many eggs are there? Only single egg. Clear? But how many male gametes are there? How many are there? Two male gametes are there. And what is there? Only one egg. Can these two male gametes fuse with a single egg? It's quite impossible. So now you can see what happens and how this fertilization takes place there. So through the pollen tube, these two male gametes, it approaches the embryo sac. It reaches there, and these two male gamete, this one male gamete, listen very carefully, one male gamete fuses with egg to form what? Zygote. That is what is known as fertilization. Main fertilization is this: one male gamete fuses with the egg, and what is formed there? Zygote is formed, and that process is known as synchrony. Note down this. That process of fusing one male gamete with the egg, that process is known as synchrony, and what is the product? Zygote is the product. Clear? Then you know one more male gamete is balanced there, isn't it? So what will happen to that male gamete? The second male gamete combines or fuses with, could you see two cells here or two nucleus there? Their name is what? Polar nuclei. Could you see it very clear? I hope it is very clear. In the middle you can see two cells or two nuclei are there. They are known as polar nuclei. So what happens? This one more balanced male gamete, it fuses with the two polar nuclei. It fuses with the two polar nuclei, and what is formed? The product is the endosperm. It is very important. First first male gamete fuses with the egg to form zygote, and that process is known as synchrony. And the balanced second male gamete, it fuses with the two polar nuclei, and what is formed? The product is the endosperm, and that process is known as triple fusion. The fusion of one male gamete with two polar nuclei, and that process is known as what? Triple fusion. Can you tell me why this is known as triple fusion? Who can tell me? Triple means what? 3. Here the combination of how many nucleus takes place? Yes, absolutely right. 3 nucleus takes place. One from the male gamete, another 2 from the polar nucleus. And these 3 join together to form what? Endosperm, and that process, it is known as triple fusion. So here 2 processes takes place in fertilization in plants or fertilization in flower. First one is the synchrony, that is the fusion of one male gamete and one egg, normal fertilization, and that product is known as zygote, and the process is known as synchrony. And one more male gamete is balanced there. That male gamete fuses with the 2 polar nuclei that is situated in the center, and what is the product? Product is endosperm, and the process is known as triple fusion. Why this is known as triple fusion? Because here 3 nucleus are fused together. One is from the male gamete, another 2 from the female, of course, that is the polar nuclei, and the product is the endosperm. So can you tell me what is the function of this endosperm? Yes, it provides the food for the developing embryo. The endosperm, it develops the food for the developing embryo. You know that zygote, it divides so many times to forward embryo. Meanwhile, the zygote, what it needs? It needs food, isn't it? So who is providing the food to them? Who is providing the food? The food is provided by the endosperm. Till it becomes the embryo, it is nourished, or the zygote is provided the food by the endosperm. As 2 types of fertilized fusion takes place here, it is known as what? Double fertilization. Double fertilization. Why this fertilization in flower is known as double fertilization? Here is 2 types of fusion takes place. One is the fusing of male gamete with the egg to form the zygote. Second one, it is the fusion of one male gamete with the 2 polar nuclei, and the product is the endosperm. And the process is the triple fusion. As this 2 fusion or 2 fertilization takes place in the flower, it is known as what? Double fertilization. Clear? And the second product is what? Endosperm. Endosperm provide the food to the developing embryo. So we can revise this once again. Fertilization in flower, you know pollination. What is pollination? Transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. And what happens when the pollen grains falls on the stigma? It sticks to the wall of the stigma, and what happens? Immediately a new structure known as what? Pollen tube is produced. And through the pollen tube, how many male gametes come? Each single pollen grain contains 2 male gametes, and through this pollen tube, 2 male gametes comes and it enters into the embryo sac. Here I have shown the diagram of only one ovule. Ovaries outer covering is there. This is a large structure. Understand? So here inside the single ovule I have shown here. Inside the ovule, embryo sac are there. So inside embryo sac, how many nuclei are there? Total 8 nuclei are there. And here you have seen the structure. This is inside the embryo. Inside the ovule, the structure is like this. And here the 8 nuclei are there. Top antipodals, bottom synergids, middle polar nuclei, and single male gamete. First it fuses with the middle one. You can see here egg to form the zygote, and the process is known as synchrony. And the second process, that is a second male gamete, it fuses with the middle polar nuclei, and the product is known as the endosperm, and the process is known as triple fusion. Now you may be eager to know what will happen to the plant parts, that means sepal, petal, then ovary, ovule, etc. after fertilization, isn't it? Have you ever observed a fruit covered with what? Sepal, petal, etc. Have you ever observed a fruit like that? No. So here after fertilization, that means post-fertilization. That is it. Post-fertilization. After fertilization, what will happen? You know this ovary, it changes into fruit. Ovary changes into fruit. You know this is inside single ovule only. This embryo sac is in. This ovule, it develops a hard outer coat. Ovule develops into a hard outer coat that it becomes a seed. Ovary develops into fruit and it gets ripened. Naturally it ripens, and ovule it develops into seed. When we observe some fruit, we could see so many seeds. As I have told you earlier, I have shown only one ovule here. So if numerous ovules are there, that many seeds are also produced. So depending upon the number of ovules, the seeds numbers also changes in a fruit. So here ovary Single ovary is there. Ovary changes into fruit and it ripens gradually, and the ovule it changes into seed. So the zygote, as I told you earlier, the zygote divides so many times and it forms. Zygote divides so many times and what is formed? It forms the embryo. In the beginning only zygote is there. Afterwards what happens? With the help of the endosperm, endosperm provides the food for the zygote. It divides so many times and what is formed? An embryo is formed. And what happened to this sepal, petal, etc.? All get fall off, shrivel, and they will fall off. Afterwards, no, you couldn't see, or we couldn't see sepal or petal after the flower changes into fruit. Only ovary changes into fruit and ovule changes into seed. Inside the ovule, you can see, okay, ovule changes into seed. Inside the seed, you can see mainly two parts are there. First one is the embryo. Next one, it is the cotyledon. Seed always protect the embryo. Seed always protect the embryo. And inside the seed, you can see main two parts are there. One is the embryo, second one is the cotyledon. These two are the cotyledon. Cotyledon, it is the food storage. What is actually cotyledon? It is the food storage. Hope you remember. Last year you studied about monocots and dicot. Hope you remember monocotyledon and dicotyledon. That means monocot means what? Paddy and all, they are monocots. Dicot means what? Two cotyledons are there. When we cut and observe, we could see two cotyledons. This cotyledon main function is the food storage. It provides the food to the embryo till it develops into a seedling. You know, seed, when we sow the seed, first which part develops? First root, isn't it? Root. So seed has got main two parts, embryo and the cotyledon. This embryo, it has two parts. You know, embryo, it has got two parts, that are the radicle and next one is the plumule. Two parts are there in the embryo, that is the radicle and the plumule. In the picture you can see radicle, it changes into what? This is the future root, and the plumule, it changes into stem or the shoot. This is the post-fertilization changes in the flower. After fertilization, ovary changes into fruit, ovule changes into seed. Ovule develops a tough coating and it develops gradually, it develops into a seed. And inside the seed main function is to protect the embryo till it becomes a plant or till it becomes a seedlings. The main function of seed is to protect. Seed is very hard, isn't it? It protects the embryo. This seed, you know that inside the seed main two parts are there. One is embryo, next one is the cotyledon. These are the two cotyledons, and the main function of cotyledon, it is the food storage. And you know that embryo has got main two parts, radicle and the plumule. Radicle, what happens? Radicle changes into root and the plumule, it changes into shoot. This question can also be asked for the examination. With the help of the diagram, explain post-fertilization changes in the flower. Post means with after fertilization. So you couldn't see the sepal or petal. They all fall off when the flower changes into fruit. You can see only the ovary changes into fruit and ovule changes into seed. Clear? And this is the post-fertilization changes. Hope the structure is hope you have understood the structure of the fertilization. Very important question for the examination. You should learn to draw the diagram also. Especially post-fertilization changes also. You should know the structure of the flower. You should know the structure of male structure and female structure. All are very important. Clear? So now you are going to watch a video showing fertilization in flower. Hope you all are keeping fine. Be safe at home. Practice social distancing. Clear? If any doubt is there, children, you are free to call me or ask me through WhatsApp. Until we meet in the next class, is bye from me. Bye.
Fertilization in plants. When the pollen grains mature, they escape and reach the stigma of the flower by pollination. The pollen tube grows and enters the ovule through micropyle. The pollen tube enters into the cavity of the ovary and then the ovule and finally penetrates the wall of the embryo sac. Embryo sac contains 8 nuclei. 2 nuclei present in the center are called polar nuclei. 3 nuclei surrounded by cytoplasm form the egg apparatus towards the micropylar end, and the remaining 3 on the other pole form antipodal cells. Fertilization is the process of fusion of male gamete with female gamete. During this process, the pollen tube discharges the male cells into the embryo sac. One of the male gamete fuses with egg to form a diploid zygote, and this is called syngamy. The second male gamete fuses with diploid secondary nucleus to form the endosperm nucleus. Since this process includes 2 fusions, this is called double fertilization. Endosperm nucleus is formed by fusion of 3 nuclei. Since it involves 3 nuclei, it is called triple fusion.